everybody. It's tequila time. Got a request from a comment and said, hey, what's the difference from Lost Lord Tahona and Viva Mexico? Viva Mexico Tahona. I mean, they're made at the same place. They're probably using the same agaves. But what else is different about them? Well, several things. Did a little research, and then we're going to taste. The Lost Lord Tahona, of course, they use a horno, a brick oven, to cook it. The Tahona stone to macerate it. They use stainless steel tanks for the Lost Lord. And they use champagne and rum yeast in that stainless steel vat. Then they twice distill it with a copper pot still using deep well water. So that's there we go. I'm going to put marks in the bottle so I can tell which way they go. But anyway, Lost Lord, that's, there's the difference. They're using proprietary yeast for the Lost Lord. They're using champagne and rum, and they're doing it in a stainless steel tank. Now, Viva Mexico Tahona, there's some differences. Still using a horno to cook it. Still using a Tahona to macerate it. But they do their fermentation in wood tanks. They use open air fermentation, so it's wild yeast coming in with fibers, which they do not do with the Lost Lord. Done in a copper pot still, deep well water. The other big differences between the two is 10 proof. The Lost Lord is 86 proof, where the Viva Mexico is 96 proof. So subtle differences are going to give a subtle and or major different flavor profile. So we need to pour some into a glass, and we'll give her a taste. If you're interested, Agave Matchmaker gave the Lost Lord Tahona an 88 on the panel, and the Viva Mexico got a 90. So really close. 2%. That's not much different. But it's something to think about, that it is close. So, first, let's pour some of this. And I'm not going to mix them up, so we're not doing this blind. We're not going to do this blind. Now, there ain't no reason to do it blind. Okay. So, Lost Lore. Nice, crystal clear. It's got a nice little cling to the glass. Let's see if it'll start to pull legs. It's still clinging to the glass. They're starting to get some tears running down there. Okay. But it's got evidently nice viscosity to it. I'm getting cooked agave. That's about all I'm getting off the nose, but you know me. My nose is not as sensitive as others, and I might be a little dump. But I am getting cooked agave off of it. So that's all I'm getting from that one. Now, Viva Mexico. Still getting the cooked agave. Getting a little citrus on this one. We'll go back to the other one here in a minute. Smells good. I mean, I'm getting cooked agave, a light little bit of citrus. All right. Haven't had any alcohol yet today, so let's do the first sip, and then we'll get our mouth all set for where we need to go. Nice legs running down it. Wow. Been a while since I had this. This is the Lost Lore. Really good. Had the Agave Social Club online sip last night. Had a really good time with Manscrito and Jake Taylor. Got lots of great information from them. Hope to be hearing a little more from them down the line, here in the Kansas City area. So we'll see. I did order a bottle. It's not available here in Kansas City yet. I ordered a bottle from off-premise in Chicago that will come at some point. It is a limited edition. If you like Ensueño, this is something out of that kind of ballpark. They did a barrel-kissed rested Blanco, and I believe it's high proof. 1,000 bottles. Let's see, what's today? It was the 17th. They will ship out. They're supposed to be finishing up orders. It's all pre-ordered till the 20th. So, excuse me. Looking forward to that because I want to do a review of that. I really do. It's something I've never had. I've seen. Right now, he's in California, Texas, Wisconsin, where he's from, Illinois, and I think New York. And he's working on. This was just last night. Florida. But he's really wanting to go into more smaller markets. They can't ramp up production as fast as they would like. They can't afford it. So to do it in little increments would mean gaining smaller markets where the volume demand will be less, but increasing demand. So we'll see. Let's get back to our... So this is Viva. This is my right hand, and this is my left. So we got left for Lost Lore and right for Viva Mexico. Yeah, I'm getting citrus and cooked agave on the nose. Cooked agave up front. I'm getting a citrus note. A little pepper on the back. And this is higher proof. This is 96 proof. The wood fermentation for me, that I can pick that out. Because it's just... I don't want to say mellower. It's more like a buffer. It kind of tones down a little bit of the alcohol. And this is in fermentation, so don't ask me why. But with the extra fibers, it gives it a little more flavor. With the wood, I don't know if you want to say it gives it a woody, like it's been barrel aged before it's ever been barrel aged. Wood fermentation for me is on my flavor profile. If you look at all the ones, you could go look at all the ones I've done ratings on. The highest ratings for me are Tahona cooked, wood vat fermentation, all copper pot stills. Water in doesn't really matter, but those three things are at the top of my flavor profile list, which is probably why my favorites on the shelves: Fortaleza, Viva Mexico, Tahona, Madeira, G4 Madeira. Those types of tequilas that use wood tank fermentation seem to be my more favorites. Not that I don't like the other ones. I love Lost Lore. I love a lot of these other ones that I have. But those that use the wood vat fermentation, those that use the Tahona, seem to be, that's my flavor profile. So, differences. One is, of course, the proof. The Viva Mexico is, it's nice. It's a little more vegetal with a little bit of lime on the palate. Not near as much pepper. This is 86 proof, not 96 proof. So this is really good. But I don't get that, and don't want to call it a malolactic fermentation taste or profile. But though this has great viscosity as a tequila, in the mouth, the finish is shorter. Let's take another sip of the Viva Mexico. Mm-hmm. I get the cooked agave note right up front. There's a citrus that comes in lightly in the mid palate, and then in the back. Yeah, well, it's 96 proof, but the heat is in the back. The pepper is in the back of the palate. Both very delicious tequilas. Wow. Am I going to pick one over the other? No, because they're different, and they're from the same spot. I mean, they're from the same distillery. These are two great tequilas, priced pretty good. I mean, these were, again, guess who got to use the Tahona first? The ones that own it. This was coming, and these guys are right behind. I do probably see that some of the other brands from 1414 will be probably using the Tahona down the line. Wow. There's no winner loser here. Differences are proof. Differences are fermentation tanks. Differences are wood fibers in the wood tanks on the Viva Mexico, and the yeast. Doing a proprietary yeast for Lost Lore, doing wild yeast for Viva Mexico. Like them both. Do I have a preference? Yeah, I mean, I've already said why. It's the wood tanks. Tends to be my favorite because that's where my palate sits. I blame Fortaleza for that, but that's where in my brain that I would probably pick that over. I would pick this over this only because of the tanks. Even if I didn't know, I would probably pick that one first. Just because of all of that cooked agave up front and through the mid palate, and then as it gently peppers into the back with a little heat. That one's my favorite. Sorry. But I ain't turning this one down neither. I've got so many tequilas on the shelf, and so many of them that do the same thing. I mean, okay, so let's see. We have El Tesoro is on there. Of course, Fortaleza is on there. Suerte is on there. Cambio is in that category. Of course, G4 Madeira is in that category. Can't remember about Cascanes. But there's so many that use the wooden fermentation tanks. That's one of those things. So if you're going to try to pick from something from 1414, hey, go on Agave Matchmaker, look each one of them up. That's what I did. I've had these for a while, and I really enjoy them. I don't. I have to come back and visit them. I get the tequila hiccups. But I come back and visit them, and why am I not drinking this? Why am I doing But, with the nature of doing content, you got to try and do something new. And this is something new. This is comparing two tequilas from the same NOM, from the same distillery, and showing how Sergio Cruz and Sergio Vivanco do little tweaks to the recipe to bring out different flavor profiles. Seeing the stainless steel versus doing wood fermentation. Doing, proprietary yeast on purpose versus doing wild yeast. One is probably keeping with the Viva Mexico profile in general, just adding the Tahona to it and maybe the wood tanks. Doing those two things. Are they trying to be like Fortaleza? No, I don't think so. I think if they're going to treat like anybody, they're probably going to be more like El Tesoro. They've been around a little bit longer, and they've been doing it for a long time. But they're just being themselves and knowing that they can make little changes like that and make completely different flavor profiles. So, to answer your question, I gave you that. Which one do I like better? Really, honestly, neither. It's a tie because they're different. They're different enough to where I would not really want to compare them side by side. They're too close. If my nasal cavities were doing better and I could get a little more of the aromas off of them, I'm sure I would probably pick out a few more things. But work doesn't do well with this. I work in a very dusty environment, so it tends to throw my allergies into a tizzy because of that, and I get certain smells that do come through and other ones that don't. Anyway, this will be the first video for this week, and I will probably be doing another one tomorrow. This one will probably get released tomorrow. I'll do the one tomorrow on Friday. Tomorrow's video, just as a precursor for those that watch on a regular basis, tomorrow's video will be Fortaleza Blanco Lot 200. It'll be a comparison to El Tesoro Blanco. Proof-wise, we're at the same. It's Horno. They're both Horno cooked. They're both Tahona ground macerated, and they're both done in wood fermentation, and they're both done with fibers. So what's the differences? Well, one is going to be terroir. The agaves from El Tesoro are going to be highlands, and Fortaleza is going to be valley. So you got that major. That's the major one there. They're both, I believe, and I will have all this information tomorrow. I believe they're both wild yeast on the fermentation side. There's no proprietary yeast on either one. And the other thing will be water. Proof-wise, I believe they're both at 80 proof. And we'll have all that tomorrow. But for Friday's video. So, hey, looking forward to doing another video. I've got to look at the camera. I'm looking at myself and not at the camera. Oh, my goodness. But, I'm trying to do better. And I'm trying to switch up the views so you're not just having to see the whole thing. You can see a couple of the other things I've got going on around here. So, hey, have a great day. And like I always say, drink good tequila and it'll be good to you. We'll see you soon. And salud.